ha ele ene go romente ka wene a itirela event ka budget e tona, we have a problem. Ga ele ke mangata a kgalemelang di corporate ke hese ka standing.
Yeah, no, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk
exactly.
about that in a short
while.
Kana
private companies ba rely mo go government have to lead by example.
Yeah.
Ha ba bona ene government le ene a itirelang di event bo Makhadzi epic tourism e dira di event ya ka ne ke bona maloba ko BTC ba itiretse le podcast related to that event ke mathata. While we have more than 20 podcasts in Botswana, ke ngwe sa hire yone wa go etsa ya go Frankston Stadium ya review a event ya.
Welcome to Moving Humanity Forward podcast. My name is Kathy Malajani and I have so many questions today. You can just think of me as Curious Kath. I'm interested in the music industry. I'm interested in the entertainment industry and I have so many questions about the state of it. I want to know if we have any artists out of Botswana that have made it really big. I want to know if Botswana is a place that we can think of as having a vibing entertainment industry. And I want to know really how good is it as an industry? Does it really make sense? I believe our guest today is going to be able to answer all these questions for me, but let me let you know that today's episode is very proudly brought to you by ProLearn, your gateway to professional growth. ProLearn specializes in soft skills training, corporate development programs, as well as professional certification is designed to help you as well as your team level up. So whether you're aiming for a promotion, whether you're building leadership skills or sharpening your business edge, ProLearn has a course for you. Go ahead and check out the website. Visit www.prolearn.ac.bw. Alternatively, call the number 267-311-4035, and that's how you'll be able to learn more. Unleash the pro in you with ProLearn. So let's get straight into it. My guest today goes by the name Gilbert Seagile, but I think if you say the name PP Wa Pimp, maybe you might get to know who we're speaking about. PP, thank you so much for joining me today. Welcome to Moving Humanity Forward podcast.
Humble, Curious Cat.
You know what? There's so much. In fact, I didn't know Onole Mrepa. I want us to talk a little bit about that. So you started off Ole Lekete and wow. Okay. Take me through how you got to wear the hat that you currently wear. You are currently the president of the Botswana Entertainment and Promoters Association. And I know you've done quite a bit of work there. I'm going to want to talk about just some of the milestones that you've managed to reach. You and I have actually spoken before on radio, just speaking to the issues within this industry. But take me through how you got to be one of the biggest, if I can say, promoters in the country, definitely having achieved huge milestones and now sitting as the president of BEPA.
Thank you so much, Kathy. Secondly, or fifthly, let's praise the Lord for us to be here. Yes, my name is Gilbert Seagile, to correct the same name. So I believe that I have done it all in the creative industry. I started as a rapper, freestyle MC.
So if I ask you to freestyle for me right now, can you?
Anytime. Because that's the thing that I know, that's the thing that influence PP for me to be here is because of the culture. You see that I'm not calling it music or fashion or whatever, because to me hip hop or rap music, it's a culture. It's got its Bible. So I started there as a freestyle MC, as a very dedicated rebel MC who will get a train during the night of Francistown to look for MCs to bear before the Facebook and things like that. Yeah, I remember my last show at Legends. It was Legends. Where is Zoom now?
Yeah.
So I was raising funds to record my album. Actually, it was supposed to be named Festas Mohai, meaning first Festus Mogai. By then, the president, Festus Mogai, was the president. Who is the former president now, was the president, so it was called Festus Mogai. So, ke motho o ke rapelang o e leng gore gantsi thata ga ke rapela a be ke rapela thata so that I can hear God. So after making that event, it was called Mr. and Miss Naledi Against AIDS. If you remember, those days it was all about HIV and AIDS. So the purpose was to host that event as a fundraising of my project, the Festus Mogai project. Then I began change her mind. No, man, I have to do this thing time and again. And I guess when it's a I you can learn behind the scene. And then I became a promotion. But with hip hop on it, I was influenced by Russell Simon, whereby like I'll be the rap god of Botswana, whereby I'll take Bostaka, Oracle that time, Boska. I remember I launched Metolo. So get some lebo boy cast could dira hip hop here because that's the thing that's Seneki seeds. And then after that ke gona be gora gore ke a jwelela yano ke a tsena V heard about me because like I was filling up the venues ka hip hop, and then hip hop in is a play crowd in Botswana. Then V recruited me for a road show or a tour. Boholo it's in about 12 days non-stop about Christmas. Then after we pull it down, Levi abango pa gore ke nne manager a gagwe ebile ke nne manager a stable sa that was Black Money Makers.
Okay, so, oh wow, it's interesting because I used to work in a music studio, so I know the part about Black Money Makers. I did not know that's how you got to be part of it. I think when I got to know about you, you were already into promotion, and that's what I knew you as. I did not know you served as Vee's manager at that point in time. So you started off with the emceeing, you were very much into the battle hip hop. We're going to close off this segment with you freestyling some lyrical somethings for us. That's how you started, that's how you got into it. Let's fast forward to today. What is the state of the industry? There are a couple of issues I want us to touch on, but right now, if a child or a young person came to you and said, hey, I want to get into the entertainment industry, what would your response be to them? What is the industry looking like?
I would like to say the creative industry is in confusion. Maybe it's because of we are in a developing country. We have a lot of media companies, and then I get a confusion even to maybe to cooperate and to the government, which I believe that the government to start with, it need to be capacitated. I don't believe that they understand the industry. There is no case study that will inform you how important it is to the GDP of the country. Yes, we have this through BIDPA, this case study that was done. Yeah, that the creative industry in Botswana contribute 5.48%, which is totally wrong because that one is for intellectual property. So if I say case study whereby we'll know where creative contribute bokae, as is done in SA. I remember in SA whereby Northwest Province, they were doing a case study to find out for a nightlife economy on their portion that are contributing to the GDP. How much are they contributing? Through my organization, we proposed that with Leah and our custodian ministry, whereby we wanted to do a case study because we wanted to know how much are we contributing to the GDP?
When you say we, you mean the Botswana Entertainment and Promoters Association?
Exactly. So we wanted to know how much are we contributing to the GDP of our country. I'm talking about nightlife economy. We wanted to know gore ha gona le born and raised, the hotel di a benefit. We believe so. The transport a benefit ka di fuel, network a benefit ka le kae batho ba tsenga di airtime ba posta ba reka di data re rekile di tickets. So we wanted to do exactly so that if we capacitate our government or our leaders who developing or invest in the creative industry, abe ba setse ba bone gore to the GDP contribute because we believe that diamonds are not forever. Setse go simolotse di setse di phaela and mothalehi mongwe setse a buile gore is it 2036 diamonds there won't be no more. But if you look at USA economy is strong because of the creative. So we believe that Botswana is talented, politically stable, mo eleng gore ga ithekisa mahatse ba ya rata, mo eleng gore go ka dira gore if you can invest on the creative industry we can get the rewards. So back to your question, ke gone ke reng we need capacitation because of we don't know what we are having. So they say confusion, but ba eleng gore the leading economy ga ba e tlhaloganya, which is the government and then the private sector ga ba e tlhaloganya. Ntetelela ke go hese kai gore like right now Botswana television is getting a lot of interview in advert commercials from South Africa. Abedita di tshamekiwa mo gongwe Coca-Cola ya advertiser mo television, but ga nka be producitswe mo gae, that's advert. The value chain ya tetsentse script writer, ba di camera, di director, makeup, exactly. So ke gone mo eleng gore as a responsibility ya rona as Botswana Entertainment ga re tsenya leitho re bona gore government o investa madi a mantsi ko bolemkongkweng a ruta bana films ba reka di camera di a nna di kgoreletswa ke gore 90% ya di advert tse di ko Botswana television ga di tswe mo Botswana.
They're not produced or made in Botswana, they just air here.
Ne ke ha se ka capacitation gore where we need to start, we need to capacitate the government and cooperate gore ba itse gore ga ba direlo ba tsa advert economy ntsi ba isa go sele.
Okay, so what you're saying is government and let's say the stakeholders, the decision makers need to understand better. That's what you're saying. And that's why you came up with this proposal to say, let's actually do a case study and show you how much the creative sector can be bringing into the economy. And you mentioned nightlife, you mentioned even things such as basically in a way we are exporting jobs. When you accept content that's pre-made from other countries, you are exporting our jobs, you are exporting what could be value added.
Not in a sense funding etakomara. What is needed is conducive environment.
Yeah.
So
wait, so how far with that case study?
That's where I'm saying we need to capacitate the government gore dilo tse dingwe ba di tsebogele. So jano ga go santse go emehela le sa tlhaloga ba sa go tlhaloganye o ta ka proposal gore let's do this for this, ba sa tlhaloganye ke yone kgang ya capacitation. And then what you are saying is government mo di creative o je wa ntsoma.
Okay, wait, I want you to get into detail with that. And I wonder, are you able to rap out for us? Can I go at the next break?
To rap?
Yeah, I can. You said that's what you do, freestyle. I'm going to give you an opportunity to think about how to think about
it. Okay. Your PP infesting are detected like a voice in the dark, quick the glow, hit the flow, sicker than the porn and the eating it. A series celeb, the mall idol, doctors, scientists looking for my brains to make lyrical tablets. I'm Press Universe, here freestyling on top of the dome. Before I fly over, I'm sober.
Don't you go anywhere. This is the Moving Humanity Forward podcast. And if you want your brand to be heard, it could be you that we are speaking about right now. Here's a chance. We're opening up advertising spots on our podcast. And we'd love to help you share your story with our growing community of listeners. So whether you're promoting a business, whether it's an event or a service, your message could be happening right now. It's simple, it's affordable, and it's very effective. To find out more, go ahead and book a slot. Give us a call on +267 311 4034 and let's make something great together. I mean, you just heard PP for yourself. Welcome back. This is Moving Humanity Forward podcast, and I've said for today you can just call me Curious Kath, okay? Because I have so many questions, and PP Webhemp is breaking something down for me. PP, you said our government is basically just being ripped off, really, when you look at it, because there's so much potential in the industry. Speak to me on that particular issue and break it down for me.
We are still focusing on the question where our industry is progressing. So we are looking at it where the obstacle the government need capacitation the creative industry to make a conducive environment. We are not talking about funding. There's a permit how this a foreign artist whereby a government have to benefit ka tax ko immigration e kana ko di bordering, they are not aware. Rather ba ka itumela Casper invest ga ba itse gore ba lusa to collect 12 or 14% out of that.
Wow.
So ke yone kgang e re buang ka capacitation or government need to understand. So the case study meant to make the government understand gore invest in this sector abe gona le sengwe se leng gore o setse o se baya motafoleng gore e ka dira madi jana le jana jaaka ke thola ke ha se ka ikamahatse a tshwana le bo Brazil. We knew Brazil ka Maradona. We knew America ka bo Michael Jackson. We knew South Africa ka bo Kaizer Chiefs. So we believe that Botswana Leone. Kana to know ka Maradona, we are talking about le hasili ira letseno. So le rona ka re bua gore ditema ne di setse di lapa ke yone sector e leng gore e ka thusa. If you look at yone netane ya bid by 5.48% their contribution at the creative to the GDP, how can you label it's sitting at the third after mining le tourism, and then before agriculture. It's what does it mean?
Yeah.
So it's industry is stagnant because of we are in confusion. Roboto laitile emba ga re itse gore re left kana right. So re thokana to capacitate the government, the private sector.
But let me ask you this, and I want us to get into corporate and private sector in a short while. But how long have you been doing this, PP? I mean, isn't it more than 20 years?
I haven't done anything, even at school. I haven't done anything apart from this. Even at school, the guy will the concert even at my home village, Muyabana ka koko gae gore ke boele ga borone ke boele sekolong tshwantse gore ke ire concert mo holong ya Muyabana gore ke boe.
So how many years is that?
I'm safe for the rest of my life.
So 40 years.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Let's just say 30 years.
From junior school.
Let's just say 30 years. So if you've been doing this for 30 years, how, or do you not know how to speak? Why are you not able, or how is it that even at this point in time, government still doesn't have that capacity, and your words seem to still not be landing anywhere, and your efforts seem to not be, making any progress? This is a conversation that we had. I remember having in 2016 when we were celebrating 50 years of independence. One of the issues that came up is, why are we not celebrating independence with our own artists and promoters and so forth? Because we did end up crossing the border and getting people to come and help us celebrate 50 years of independence. That didn't make much sense. So my question is, why is this taking so long? I recall that the National Arts Council being formed was touted as, oh, this will be a big deal, things will change. Even BEPA starting to get more vocal and visual, again, that was touted as it will help, it will assist. Where is the gap happening? Why does it seem like government is not getting the message, or the stakeholders, decision makers are not hearing what people in the industry are saying? And I'm saying that to you because you're one of the people in the industry.
We the same thing. How can level the interviews? I'm always talking about these things.
Yeah. So you never had anybody call you and say, what are you saying? How can we implement an environment? Because you're not saying give us money. You're saying
I'm coming to that. As I say that I'm always talking about this thing. It's the same thing. You are on radio and then you are passing important message and nobody's paying attention unless Hakoti PP or Rapile. Then you don't know who you'll get your listeners from. I think across the world, not Botswana, le haselo control like a politique.
Okay.
So maybe you'll be making a development with a certain politician who's leading as a custodian department. Gale santse le tlhaloganya le dira go tsena Kathy jaano le simola ko nteng a santse Kathy understanda o jwa ke dithopo go tsena o mongwe ke gone go mo ileng gore ke setse ke go lemogile ke kile ka rata mahoko a minister wa gompieko Jacob Kelebeng a bua gore amapolitiki ba boele ko morago di ministera a bua ka issue ya sports council ya bodlodi duke gore no e ne le diwa ke le politiki a go leading yone sector. If you can do that, because the mentality o re busitsang ko morago ke gore o ta bona le ministera X ko le submitante mind you re submita ko maesek and then yolo aba re thaloganga a tsenya melao a tsenya di regulation 5 years o monyenyane o jwa ke di top go tsena ministera Y le simola hela ko nteng wa ga tsone dia tsama like right now we have a new government. Re tshwantse gore le bone re ba simolole mind you creative industry ke go mo go shega dithabolo go mo Botswana bana so tshwantse re simolole le bone re ba educate bana re educate ezikhola re ba bolela ha re lente go mo 5 years ba jwa ke dithopo go tsena ba bangwe so problem ke yone problem e tona gore re mapolitiki ke bone ba eleng gore ba neta mela spend ya bone.
But then is that really the case? I mean, we all know that ministers, politicians, yes, they are the figureheads and the ones at the top. But like you said, you're submitting at MISEC. That's a civil servant, and the civil servants haven't changed, even if we've had a change of government. So is it the politicians, the ministers, the top that we need to get to understand this? Or is it not the people who are actually doing the paperwork and making these decisions? Are these decisions being made by ministers, or is it not the civil servants?
The Entertainment Act have to be passed at the parliament. It have to be a draft, a bill to be passed, or else nothing can be done. If you look at how COSBOTS is regulated, it's because it was passed the parliament. So if you look at National Arts Council, was passed the parliament.
So you're saying
regulations are not policies. So la reka ira di regulation minister o tangata ira di regulation tsa gore nya mo bordereng ha go tolo hela go dirwa yana swantse gore go ikwa parlamenteng. Hence we said we have to do a case study so that case study can be debated ko parlamenteng abe go phasiwa molao wa gore go simolla gompieko mo Botswana di advert ga di tsokonte go irwa di advert mo gae so go simolla gompieko mo Botswana di international di tadile kana ga diteka bokana is a regulation a ke tsena ke a go taka tsame ile molao.
No, I see what you're saying. So yes, have you lobbied? Which politicians have you lobbied? I get you're saying you lobby and then at some point they lose elections. And who have you worked with, or who have you lobbied to try and push this cause for you? Because you're putting forward the notion of an entertainment law. I want to talk a little bit about that as well, and also about your stint in politics. I want to talk about that as well. But which politician have you?
Everyone from MISEC. We've been doing cases calls. Gambling Authority. it's been made secret gore sports and arts they have a stake, a levy, more gambling authority. We must get, there's something that we are getting. People that they don't know about that. It's never been reported that Rele Maeseka collected 100 million with gambling authority. If you look at the Gazette, yare bontabongwe jamadi jabato haba gambola. Aya go sportsing le ko di atseng ya bona that's why ke bua ka information bo capacitation ra re tisang ona madi ona ha o lebelela blank tape levy a blank tape levy madi a tswa mo di blank tape levy ke a di arts di hologram what and what and then madi a teng a controller ke sipa which is wrong sipa eta beta ka di guidelines tse nkete go rekiwa maene bana ba lebella gore di creative ga se batho ba di proposal ke batho ba di creative ba di releng di guidelines tsa di proposal tse leng gore you can relate because we are talking about talent dilo tseo re di buile up to the presidential program. We had a program the former president Ramasisi. We had a town hall meeting in Palape. We had town hall meeting in Grand Palm. Dilo tseo ne di re di bua ebile di bua ke nna so I remember reba bolelela gore how damn are you using 40 million to host an indoor event like National Arts Council in Nanko Grand Palm? Then you have the guts, 11 million. Abore ke ona grant tadi performing arts for the whole country. When what's 40 million we are event go Grand Palm. So how really has to lo teba to ba submit the proposal gore ba ire di event or anything so creative. When I allocate 11 million. What madness is that? Dilo tseo re di buile tseo. So se ke le kang go se bua ke gore ka re at the end of the day la re ka re we are depending mo mapolotiking gore ba phase melao ko parlamente ga ba sa phase melao ko parlamenteng re mo mathateng. My topic ke gore my argument gore ga rena entertainment act re buswa ka liquor act if you remember na go eno go tswala no go te kana go ya ga yen kga no go te go tswalwa di bara di club ka 2 the reason why re say beyond 12 is because of rela like entertainment arena act the rona ke a trade ha go mpio kwana go te di bara di tswalwa ka 10 di tlabo di tswala ka 10 p.m. gore a re lo rena ra o tswala ka 10 p.m. Nte ke go ya se ka countries like Namibia there's a liquor act, there's a entertainment act whereby you shut down the bujalo ha bo rekisiwe ka 2 maybe entertainment will go on.
So let me ask you this, because now you're falling under the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture. This is MySec. So I'm trying to just think, the immediate previous minister of that ministry was actually somebody who used to work on radio. He's somebody who was fairly young. I want to believe these are all things that he would have understood. Did he not come on board to champion this cause? Because I never actually remember him speaking to this. The person who I do remember was the former MP, Honorable Letsholo. That's who I remember talking about how, let's allocate money to the entertainment industry and, maybe we could make money in arts 1, 2, 3. So were you unsuccessful in getting former MP Re Chiliboy Rakari to come on board and speak to these issues? Because I don't remember him speaking to them.
We have coffees and biscuits that we are tired of.
Okay.
From the boardroom of Tsagagoromente.
Coffees and biscuits that you are tired of because you've gone and eaten lots of biscuits, many meetings. Yeah.
The result di ka nna teng ga o bona ene Goromente to start with. A re ga ke sa dira khawa ke monela di creative. Lona di promoter organizer, lona di artisting tsena, lona di podcast tsena, lona ba le documentant tsena. Lona ba fashion e serang ke bua ka value chain go no ho then we know gore re se re khon ha ele ene Goromente ka wene a itirela event ka budget e tona we have a problem ga ele ke mangata khalemela di corporate ke hese ka standing.
Yeah, no, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that
so,
in a short
while. Private companies ba rely mo go Goromente have to lead by example. Ha ba bona ene Goromente le ene a itirelang di event bo Makhadzi epic tourism e dira di-event ya ka ne ke bona maloba ko BTC ba itiretse le podcast related to that event ke mathata while we have more than 20 podcasts in Botswana ke ngwe sa hire yone wa go etsa ya go Frankston Stadium ya review a event ya gona I'm talking about
we're going to talk about that because that I think is one of the issues we have. But coming back to, you've had lots of
I think no batla go tlhaloganya ka Chili Boy.
Yeah, I wanted to say come back to there to say, is there not that relationship, or did you not have that? And how come he didn't say anything? So you'd have meetings and drink their tea and coffee, and then what?
A ke itse gore gongwe ba take papa matsa a ka re lapisitswe ke di-biscuits le di-boardroom ko gore dikgang tsa rona di monate mo di-boardroomong re tswa re
so you'd get promised things
exactly
and then you wouldn't deliver.
Actioning a be go sa nne implemented le tswa mo boardroomong le dumalana ka megopolo le itumetse le no le teng then immediately ge la ha o tsena go na le event ya nnang ka July ya bone ya government e dirwa ka budget ya 40 million. You understand? And then abe go tswa expression of interest e bitsang ba diragatsi gore ba tsena expression of interest eo lo telle mo lahatseng lona le dirisa 11 million. Mele tswa mo meeting wa di-biscuits. That's why the result go dumalana is not a problem. Ya no the result tsele di ganetsa sene le se dumalana.
So what you're saying is you would get into these wonderful biscuited meetings and agree, implementation zero. Implementation zero. So in terms of other politicians or leaders, are there any other that you had aligned with who had agreed to further your cause? And have you considered going across the board, like to opposition and other, or have you just stayed within speaking to the ruling party, obviously because they are the ruling party?
Yeah, what was happening mo pushing in Asia was the same thing. Mind you, kana gona le protocol. Ga le na le minister gongwe wa lona. Gongwa bela go wa trade ga e gonna comfortable because of on step am officing ya yo mongwe. So ke tsone dilo tse leng gore di ne di re bolaya. So ga o tsena ko gongwe ko the last office ya ga president o le bolela gore a ke re le diretse ministry wa lona boela nkolo go sota di kgantsa teng. So that's why we once advised the president to have advisory body e leng gore rona kgwedi re nna le ene re mo advise because of a gongwe one man we leng gore la na le minister kana ke motho gongwe ha le tsena kwa le penta maina na go ngwe no khona o bona hela president a o mana gore le bothatswa le ireng wa o iputsa gore go tswa kae o ithela le gore go ene minister wa lona o tswa kwa kana ke motho o tswa go le bua ka ha sa thaloganyeng ka teng. So tota hela my subject ke yone kgang yone ya gore mapolitiki ke bone ba eleng gore ba leader lehatshe. So ya no ha ile nna bone gape gongwe ka di sabotage kana ba sa understand kana ba sa bone creative forensic ka ya go nna mathata.
So this case study that you are proposing, I want to know who or how far it is, but we'll get into that. I also want to talk about the stint that PP had because he did run for elections in the last election in 2024, and also we do want to talk about the corporate space because we have seen corporates doing what he's talking about, where they are getting into the industry and taking over what could and should have been given to the different participants in the sector. Stay with us. This is Moving Humanity Forward podcast. You can call me Curious Kath for this one. So many questions. Welcome back. This is the Moving Humanity Forward podcast, and we're talking the entertainment industry. PP, you've said, you've talked about corporates because we've seen corporates in a way falling in the same way as government. And I want to say we understand why they would do that. If the government is doing it, corporates pretty much follow the same example. You were still talking about an example of where that happened, where corporates have come on board and instead of saying, listen, as Moving Humanity Forward, come and cover our event or whatever, they then do it themselves. What should the correct thing be? What should be happening in that space?
As long as the government is arguing corporate sectors to contribute to mo economy ya lahatse e simolla go no ho and then le gone e se go ithaopa kana go support because I don't like that word in ya go support ke dumela mo returning
an investment.
exactly.
True, nobody wants to just be supporting or
exactly.
volunteering.
So issue ye re na le yone e re bua le di corporate ka ke bua ka capacitation.
Yes.
Le bone they have to be capacitated because they end up losing.
Yes.
Instead of nte ke hese ka ka company ya network e gaugile pelo yane ke dirisang number ya bona go tswa kgolo we Mascom for example nkutwe senta wa ithalela gore Mascom ena le budget ya marketing gongwe ya campaign ya 14 million so rona rare they can use less. We have the event tse e leng gore di tsenya batho ba le bo 15,000 in the country ga ba tsaya budget yone eo a be ba e divider le those events gona le go ira road show ya 14 million they can get more returns brand visibility go heta bone ba dira though le bone to do that ka gore ga go regulate sente I feel gore is wrong for gongwe di-company wena o tsere license go imbifiria kana o tsere license ya go rekisa airtime kana ya madi go adimisa madi o le banka a bo bua gape o ta o tsena mo go seleng mo industry mo go ireng di-event o bolaya value chain nte ke go he se ka ika event ye ne diragala recently ne re le sebete se le molangwana ka yone ya Stenbik because of bone ba direla gongwe promotion ka bana le di resources. You know how many events they have killed tsa batho ba ba rilang tseo ga o no le Charma Gal kana le Franco you can't stage an event you versus Stenbik ole ayoba o no rutisa waffles you can't do that ole Zen Cafe o rutisa Ntate Stana you can't do that ole whoever o bona gore ole Cloud9 ole ko trackers o bona gore by then that night we really damage e ka mme wena botshelo ba gago ke gore ka manta ga rona re banke mo go wena o ire interest o tswa go thagela ka kweleng gore ga se industry ya gago o tswa go bola o itebeletse na ra re go mo go wrong. We see in South Africa whereby bogona le bo Stenbik Cape Town Jazz Festival MTN Bushfire whereby you channel your money to promotion company then everything se long ka bo se itirela ba go se direla. We don't say engage one of us rare banele badire because boneda are registered but sala ka go no go more then when you relax and then enjoy your return in investment we have a problem.
So what you're saying is our corporates in Botswana don't understand that concept or they just don't want to give the control over to promoters. Is it not because they've been disappointed maybe? Is it not because they doubt the capacity of the promoters? And if that's the case, then how will we get promoters to have that capacity if we're not giving them things that are fairly big?
I wouldn't say organization itself. What I figured it up, the marketing officers there are groupies.
Okay.
So Baba Mod cooperating. So they are competing with influencers or with celebrities.
Oh.
Yeah, it's happened so many times over now billboard ele motho wa marketing. Why can't you onele ATI kana loudness rata ka ko South Africa re bona re dira. So many times look at the billboard we tell what tetse bone batho ba marketing model exactly. So I think ke bone di stumbling block organization itself I don't think gore enale setswana sa real sa re mashike takele pepper se laba se taka mogani.
But then is it not that then the budget is not there? I know for MCing you'll find the marketing person MCing and they'll tell you no, it's because we didn't have a budget so now I'm doing that. Is that not the case?
It's not the case. It's not the case because ke yone ke kgang ya bo groupie ya gore when a company ex Gilbert Promotions ga o ka ko anela MC Fishy madi a kana a babaleleng ke ta MC ke ete ke MC e ko lenyalo la kwa lapeng e le gore nna ke itebeletse gore ke batla promotion I want to impress obvious go somarela ke so se sente company e ka somarela because if you look at the event tse leng gore di dirwa ke tsone di corporate wa bona hela gore no value event e rilwe ka bo 3.5 or 5 million and then gona le batho ba le 1000 tabanetse ticket mahala really o bata go achieving and then you look at say leng gore ke sa company gongwe le Gilbert Promotions e sena budget ka one women show ba duedisa ba sa tsenye batho mahala and then they get 15 to 20,000 people so kgang ke gone gore wena ka 5 billion o achieve brand visibility go o sa nele yo khona expert a re nele ndi gona le mothalefi mongwe by the name of Reinhard Larry ona bua ka industry ya rona gore ke di expert a gonelwe di expert hela ya ka motakaso ka sko o itirela o risky that's why go hela go nna le di stampede a re ne le di promoter re ska ra itirela kgantele ra go nna re sa dire dingwe sente so e hela ke so boka ka gantsi thata ga se tsone di organization itself ke di officer so go no bogolo ba marketing ke bona ba kganela body board bona ga ba thaloganya ya no e boela go capacitation gore bo board bo di CEO bona they don't understand gore gona le di experts tsa because we are a developing country ba utwa ka rona ba marketing gore no re ta itirela so problem e tona e teng gono go weba motho wa marketing wa company ke ene o go radio wa utwa gore lentswe le gale a targeta audience gale monate gale go gele bana so dan re itsela re gona le re ka hira motho e o tshwana le mthakolo wa comedian gongwe he nyena hela a pre-salary 880 I'm talking about this but re batla go reetsa and then pull the crowd for you so unlike in South Africa. So why South Africa is progressive? Because they don't do as we are doing here. So we have to understand ourselves. Or ke batla go nna celebrity ka batla go na marketing. Gona le netane ya chopisi mo di trackeng. Go have a marketing officer o na tsentse picture ya gagwe.
We'll just start looking at billboards and see if we see the marketing person of that company or anybody from that company, we have our eyes on you.
So like ka gone gore ke gone go lo mo go bola yang ha o no botsa gore a industry ya rona ya gola so ne dio tse re buang ka ga tsonetse ke tsonetse di bola yang industry ya rona that's why we tell go South Africa gongwe bogoli e dirisiwa indosiwa e duela go nna le value chain.
I like that, and we definitely need to have a conversation about
that's why how it's na ke netamodi if you go to the organization gongwe tse di rana di promoter le di artist o ithala artist tsa maka Honda Fit mo kamedi wa association ene a phekile Range Rover so that ke bolwetse hela jo bo serious.
And we definitely at some point need to get into more detail about this entertainment law that you're proposing and what some of the things in there should be. But let's move on, because one of the things that you have done is try and raise your hand to serve as a leader in the political space. This is as part of the Botswana Democratic Party last year in 2024. Take me through a little bit of that, and what was your intention?
The former president Ramasisi le goromente wa gagwe ka nako eo ne ba align gore ba batla gore ga borone e nne entertainment hub mo ne gone gaugi le pelo yana so jano abe ke bona gore ke contest ka re go utwana le kganye ya bone and then ke bila gore ke iphese ke nna nka irang botoka so intention was to become a mayor by fire by force so that I can ne ke dumela gore ke nna hela ye leng gore nka dira gore ga borone ene habo ya entertainment sentente ne ke batla go nna mayor so that I can complement toro ya goromente wa tsatsile.
So since you didn't make it, would you be willing to work with the current mayor? Are you in touch with the current mayor? Have you shared some of your ideas with him?
Tota go na le dilo tse go teng di-merit. My talent or my purpose or kgolo ya me ya modimo is not belong to any organization. So le ene mmeyara wa kwa ke tlile ke irile courtesy call go ngwa no lebeletse le boshenyaneng ne ke na le courtesy call le our former president re Ian Khama, and then le bone bo ba ba teng bo rendaba ke se ke iphisitse le go romento teng gore ke teng ke na le megopolo. So re a bua ka le bone ne ke ratile ha tautona wa gompio ka bua gore it's all about the merit. Ke mongwe le gore le ene ke no le te le ene a kere the current government ebile ke dumela gore ba ka retsa bo I belong to BDP. Ba re mme ke dumela ebile ke na le tumela gore bone mme ba ta retsa botoka gona le go romente wane.
Okay. I think that's an important one, and we're running out of time, but there are a couple of things that I'd like to talk about. Let's give you a minute to speak a little bit to the Botswana Entertainers and Promoters Association. I believe you've got an AGM happening tomorrow, and in that same minute I'd also like you to just speak a little bit to some of the achievements, because you've already mentioned the one woman show, but that was like one of the biggest shows that has happened right here in the BW. So in a minute, take me through Bepa.
Ka di 30 tsa April, which is Wednesday, re boela ko marago go na le AGM e leng gore ga ke contest as the president of Botswana Entertainment Promoters Association. Di tense thata because of the association e godile. One of the things that I have achieved ke gone gore re ne re lwantwa e tona ka COVID ebile ra propose a relief e leng gore ene ya nna teng le involvement ya di-promoter di dintsi le one case study e re leng mo go yone le gone gape le DBS ra kgona go kopa madi a kana ka 23 million gore re funde the event tse 43 ngwaga le ngwaga go tswe mo kgang ya gore go tseiwa content mahala re ne ra bona re emisa go mo tota di dintsi hela tsa achievement ya me ya go bepa ke dumela gore ba ba teng ba tla tsweledisa re dumelane.
I need to cut you, sorry, we're out of time, but let me do this. Where do people find you? How can they find you?
Nte ke dirise nako e ka go laela ke ntse ke na le phesego ya go nna international promoter so gore ke ya ko London ebile ke na le event ya ntha ka September ya go teng Botswana Week Expo. Tiro ya me ke go rekisa Botswana music, fashion ga mmogo le dijo, mme hala tabe ke se based ko UK Europe o to ke ya go dira di event teng se go lo thata go rekisa Botswana cause ntse le phesego ya me ya gore I need to be an international promoter.
He says he's done it all in Botswana and now he is going international. Let's close off this episode of Moving Humanity Forward with PP. Well, Pim, thank you so much for your time today.
Go leboga nna le kamoso.